here with Thrive 12, and today we are going to be talking about reflecting on your school year. All around US, we're coming to an end with some of our school districts. We're about to roll up on summer and just have that time to ourselves to just kind of regroup, replenish, all of the things that you do during the summer so that you can come back the next school year and be great again. So my school had us do our final kind of learning activity for the year. And I really enjoyed the activity. It was a post. Each teacher had to post reflecting on the year. And it was great to just see that, see what other teachers were saying, see people's challenges, and see what they thought about this school year. And I would advise all schools to kind of do some kind of reflecting with your educators and even the principals. I think that the principals and the assistant principals, the leaders, the counselors, everyone should be reflecting on their year, and we should be able to read those reflections so that we can see it from different perspectives. And so I'm going to kind of look at mine and kind of read it. I might not read all of it, but I just want to kind of reflect on my year. So I'm an entrepreneurship teacher, and my students who are in my class, they come in with business ideas. And in a normal year before the pandemic, we would work on building those ideas and actually getting them ready. And then we would be pitching those ideas all around the US during the month of April and May. And then sometimes in the summer, we would travel as well to pitch our ideas. So for the last 2 years, that has not been able to happen, which kind of hurts your program in a sense, but you've got to figure out a way to make things happen when you don't have all of your resources. And so I decided to say in my post, looking at the past and reflecting on the past and looking forward to the future. And so I'm just going to read and I might pause, but we are reflecting on a powerful year in my entrepreneurship program for the 2020-2021 school year. We defied the odds and had some amazing events that went national. So when I think about the stuff, guys, that we did, the activities, the programs that we did in this 2020-2021 year, I am so excited. I'm grateful. I even want to cry because I cannot even believe the things that we were able to accomplish. And that's my dog, by the way. Somebody's probably at the door. Sorry. But I just can't believe the things that we accomplished in that 2020-2021 school year. When I talk about the national programs, we did a program called Global Entrepreneurship Week, and we were able to have a conference that was a virtual conference, but people from all over the world attended my conference and had involvement in my conference. And the students, they helped me put together an amazing event. So it was way bigger than what we would have done in a typical school year. And so when I look back at that, I'm like, I can't even believe that we got that done. We were able to get an award-winning movie director to be a part of our conference. I was able to get some student entrepreneurs that had been on the Shark Tank, that are nationally known to be a part of our conference and to share their stories with my students and with my community. And I'm like, just in amazement of all the things that we were able to accomplish with very few resources. So when I say we defied the odds, that's what I'm talking about. My students they put on their change maker hats, is what I said this year, and continued to grind their way to success. I asked my students to do things to really not see any limitations with what we could accomplish this year. And as a result, we were able to win different competitions. It's very challenging to have in-person and virtual students at the same time, right? And so that's what we were doing. But I had to also practice with my students for competitions virtually and in person. I had one team that was, one of the students was in person and one of the students was virtual, and we had to practice and prepare for this competition every day after school. And it was challenging, right? It took nights where we would have to jump on a Zoom at night and get it done. It took them working together on the weekends and sharing resources, but they got it done, and those ladies won that competition. And so I pushed them, and they did it. And so I'm excited about what we are going to do this coming up year, since we were able to accomplish so much in the 2020-2021 school year. So I said, I needed them to see how perseverance worked. We did not allow a pandemic to stop the show for our program. Everybody's program around the world, their school programs, have been hurt some because of the pandemic, right? Me and my co-advisor, we had a hard time recruiting students for our clubs. And we had a hard time trying to get students to participate, but we found creative ways to make it happen. And so I wanted to push my students and help them understand that this is what you do. When there is a challenge, when there's conflict, or things you don't have everything that you need, you don't just stop, right? You keep going. I had to deal with coronavirus in my family, and at the same time trying to get one of my students ready for competition virtually because I couldn't be at school. And that's going to be the story that you hear from a lot of educators this year, that they still worked it out, sickness and all. The challenges that our students had to go through with taking care of their siblings, taking care of sick parents, as well as trying to log into our classes. And those are the stories that I want us to see and hear in the future, so that we really can reflect on how strong we are. What else did I put in here? We did not allow some programs, here, this is it. Some programs can get lost in the fire, but strong programs are built from it. And I'm going to tell you, this was my hardest year in my 16 years of teaching, but it made me a stronger teacher. It made my students stronger. And I would say around the world, you're going to hear the same stories, right? So let me read that again. Some programs, they can get lost in the fire, and you will see that. Some programs will disappear. Some programs will no longer be available for our students and for our teachers because this pandemic just kind of took it out. But there are some programs that hang on to that last strand, that last string, and they continue and they hold on and they build and they build and they build. And here we go. We're going to get back on track. As a result, we've already begun to plan for our 2021 school year, and we have. When I say because I know, and I dealt with a lot of personally as an educator, self-esteem issues with some of the programs that I was trying to implement in the 2020 year, right? When you're trying to put on a virtual conference and you just don't know if it's going to work out, you kind of are like, oh God, if this does not work out, I'm going to be totally embarrassed. I'm going to disappoint people, disappoint my school, disappoint my community. Do I really want to risk it all? And so because we did it and we were very successful, it made me go bigger for 2022. This school year, I have already started planning some amazing things. My students have given me some incredible ideas. And when I tell you, we are going to go big because 2020 showed us that we can go big. That's what I'm talking about when we say look to the past to prepare for your future. And so, when I think about my students, I said here, they are the most amazing humans. They had me laughing and sometimes they had me crying, right? And that was just the year. But they are amazing people. All they see is success. Even when it's hard to see success sometimes, you have to have your teacher, your mentor, your other student friends to help you to see the path clear. My team and I have had some amazing opportunities. I had a wonderful group of teachers that I work with. Then I put here, watch us, hold on to your seat and watch us fly even higher in the 2022 school year to be continued. Lessons from teaching during a pandemic. Students still need opportunity to speak up, collaborate, and make a difference. And that's what we gave them this year. I did not see a pandemic and say, oh, we're going to cut back. We're just going to do this, this, and that. I saw the pandemic and I saw education in the pandemic and I said, oh my gosh, we about to kill this. Okay, we are about to rock and roll, make things happen. We don't have any limitations. Let's get it. And that's the energy that I brought to the class. That's the energy that I brought to my coworkers. And that's what I'm going to continue to do. So my computer locked up. I thanked my admin team, my department chair, and things like that in my reflection, because you always need to thank people who have helped and supported you. So I want to just say, reflect on this school year. Sit back, write it down. If your school doesn't have an opportunity for you to reflect as a group, you just do it yourself. Think about your students. And I had to sit and think about my students and all the different challenges, right? I saw a quote one day that it said something like, some people have stories that will bring you to your knees, right? And I think all over the world, we saw those stories, right? Teachers with their students, when you called home to check on a student and you talk to a parent, some of those stories will bring you to your knees, right? And so reflect on that. Think about the students. Think about their families. Think about your coworkers and the challenges that they have had to endure this school year. Think about your school community. Just reflect on things that happened. Find what were some of the good things that happened this school year. Yeah, we had some not so good things, right? Everybody has had to deal with that. But write down those good things and keep that. Think about your local community and how they kicked in and helped with making sure your school was successful. And then think about you and the part that you played in making sure that we moved forward, that your students moved forward, that your school moved forward. And so I definitely think reflection is something that we should do every year. But this year, particularly, is very important because it's going to help us build for our next school year. We're going to reflect and we're going to see, and it's going to help us to make some decisions in the coming up year. So, thank you. We'll have one more show next week, and then that will be the end. We will have our summer break, and I will then show back up in August when school starts back up. And so I've really enjoyed all of the shows that I've created for this school year. And like I said, one more show. Thank you for joining me in the Teacher's Lounge by Thrive 12. Follow us we're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and like all of our pages. And we got some good things coming up this year. And I look forward to working with all of you guys and sharing information. Have a good one. Thank you. Keep thriving, people. Keep thriving.